This is TWiT.
And now Larry on the line from Manhattan Beach, California, our next caller. Hello, Larry.
Hey, Leo. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome. How are you?
So, yeah, yesterday I began getting all of these messages on Facebook Messenger about a video that I supposedly posted.
Yeah.
Was that you? And I can't.
Was that you? And boy, click that link. Why don't you click? Because it could have been what you did last night. You won't believe that kind of thing.
Well,
yeah.
This wasn't one that was directed at me. This is one that apparently came from me.
Yeah.
And people are going, I can't open this. I can't.
Oh gosh, people. Oh, stop. Oh no.
And yeah, so I spent an hour yesterday answering messages. No, I was hacked. I posted it on my Facebook page. That didn't come from me. I can't find. Okay, so I'm a LastPass user. Thank you.
Good.
And I've got a 14-character password with all kinds of weird characters in it. Apparently, somebody was able to log in as me. All right, so then I went in. I changed my Facebook password immediately. And then it happened again today that my account was locked again today, and I had to go change the password again.
Oy.
And I'm wondering if somebody has somehow gotten my LastPass master password, God forbid, and I can't find in LastPass any way to find out if what devices have accessed LastPass or changed passwords or viewed it or anything like that. I don't know. It's a total mystery. And wow. Any ideas?
Yeah, a couple of things. First of all, you can in LastPass see what's going on, but I don't think that's what actually happened. So I believe, now I'm going to have to check, maybe the chat room knows, I believe it's possible to spoof. How do they know it was you? I bet you they're spoofing your Facebook address.
That's what I think. I don't know how that's possible.
Well, there's a couple of things. It's happened to me, certainly. I don't have a Facebook account anymore, but people would just clone my account, take all the, your Facebook account has enough public information on it in most cases, unless you really lock it down, for somebody to make a duplicate account that's similar, obviously can't be identical, but similar to yours. They can claim they're you and then send messages from it. But what's interesting is, are the messages going to people you know?
Yes.
Okay. That's a little more concerning, because the only way they'd have the list of people you know is if they had they did have, in fact, access to your Facebook account. So that's a little bit more concerning. You're using a long password. Are you using two-factor by any chance?
I'm not using two-factor.
I would certainly turn that on.
On Facebook?
Mm-hmm. They support it. Ideally not with a text message, but with an authenticator. Facebook actually will use Messenger as an authenticator, and that's fine. You'll do that, after you change the password. Do that in tandem.
Well, I've now changed it 2 days in a row using a password generated by LastPass.
When you change it, does somebody change it to something else? Or are you just changing it because something's still going on?
No, I'm changing it because something's going on.
So next time you change it, or you don't have to change it, turn on two-factor. That's for sure. If somebody's getting into your account, that's going to help. And the reason is, even if they had access to your password vault, your LastPass vault, they would not be able to do anything with it, because two-factor, they'd use your password and it still would say, okay, well, now what's the second factor? What's the authentication code? And they'd say, well, we don't have that, unfortunately. I'm looking on LastPass. I might be wrong. I thought LastPass had a directory of things that have been used. You can go, the best way, I guess, to do this is go look at trusted devices in LastPass. That's in the account settings. And
the trusted devices, though, they just have these weird identifiers. You can't tell what device it is.
Yeah, I always name it. But you're right, there's a weird identifier, and I don't know where you would find that. But, one thing you can do is just clear them all and then log into your few devices. Name them after you log in one by one so you know what they are. And anything that comes in after that, that would mean access. It's really hard to steal somebody's LastPass. Do you have two-factor turned on LastPass as well? No. Always use two-factor if you can, and both LastPass and Facebook will allow you to do that, and that really slows people down. The bad guys then would have to get your phone in order to do this.
I always wants my fingerprint when I go into it.
That's good, but a two-factor is even better. The fingerprint is just to save you from having to enter the password again. That's not two-factor. So if you go in LastPass settings, you can turn on two-factor.
So I have Microsoft Authenticator through work. Can I use that authenticator to do two-factor?
Yeah, you sure can. Yep.
Oh, okay.
So the chat room's suggesting this is also possible. I would go into your Facebook account. Make sure your friends list is not set public. Because if it is, then they wouldn't have to compromise anything. You're telling everybody. And so if those people that got messages from you are in your public friends list, make that private. In fact, I'd go through your Facebook. This is another security measure everybody should do. Go through your Facebook settings, make everything private that you can. Only accessible to friends, not even friends of friends, but just friends.
Okay.
Okay. Under account options, advanced other sessions, it will show you. There you go. Account options, advanced other sessions. It'll show you the actual IP addresses that they're logged in from in LastPass. So that's another thing you could do.
Account options. Okay, you post that? Okay.
Yeah. Account options, advanced other sessions. That would certainly tell you if somebody's using your. It seems unlikely. If that's the case, though, somebody's got into a password vault. Boy, you got a problem because now that they would have everything. That's why it's really important to use two-factor. So again, yeah, you can use. You're already doing it at work. That's the Microsoft Authenticator. You can use the Authenticator to generate those 6-digit codes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would look very carefully. Everybody should do this. Facebook's defaults are highly insecure. They make everything public because they want you to be public. It's easier for them. So I would go through your settings, make sure. I would look and see, if somebody is saying, hey, I got a message from you, have them send you that message and check to see, is that my account? Because it might be an account that has the same name, but is in fact somebody's made a duplicate account. Search your name, report a duplicate account, go through your Facebook settings, make things more secure. All of these things. It's too bad we have to do all this, honestly. I broke up with Facebook 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. But I understand for a lot of us, it's not a necessity, but boy, it's sure nice to stay in touch with family and friends. My wife would never leave Facebook. And she's always telling me, oh, did you see what happened to this guy, that guy, or our friend sold their house and moving and stuff. And I don't know any of that stuff. I don't know any of it. So I understand, if you want to stay in touch with, ex-girlfriends and long-lost family members, it's a very nice thing to have. But you got to lock it down. You got to make everything as much as private as you can. Friends only. Make sure your friend list is private, that kind of thing. I think it's much more like, these things are so easy to do, it's much more likely somebody's doing that. And then you might say, well, why are they targeting me? Well, they're probably not specifically targeting you. They just found your account, found it easy to do this. What they really are doing, the reason they're sending those videos out, this is an old scam on Facebook. They want people to click that link because that link is not a video. That link is going to have malware at the other end of it. So they're really going after your friends who are not sophisticated like you and are clicking those links. Don't click links in Facebook Messenger. And then somebody in the chat room has given us a good link that everybody should have, facebook.com/settings tab equals privacy. I'll put that in the show notes. It's a long one. But go directly to the privacy settings. Lock everything down. Turn on two-factor wherever you can. For people who are saying, what's that two-factor? When you log into a site or an application, usually you give it an email and a password, right? And, of course, you're great. Larry's using LastPass. He's using a password manager, so he's generating a really good random password, not trying to remember it, letting the password manager remember it. That's all good. But when you that's one factor of authentication. And in fact, it's something you know. There's 3 different ways you can authenticate. Prove you are who you say you are. Something you know, mother's maiden name, birth date, password, that's something you know. Something you are, biometrics, your fingerprint, your Face ID, iris scan, things like that. That's something you are, biometrics. And the third factor is something you have, which could be, and this is what I use, an authentication key, a little dongle that goes into the USB port. Only I have this. That's my 2-factor. So when I go and log into LastPass, for instance, it says, okay, on a new machine, it says, okay, now put your key in there in the USB port so we can make sure it's you. If somebody doesn't have this little USB device, they can't log in as me, even if they know my password. An easier way to do this, you don't have to go out and buy a physical key, is to use an authenticator program. People always say Google Authenticator, but Google's just one of many companies that makes them. Microsoft makes Authenticator. My favorite is actually from a company called Twilio. It's free. It's called Authy, A-U-T-H-Y, but they all work roughly the same. You'll get a QR code from Facebook or LastPass or whoever. Aim your phone at it. The QR code sends a secret number to the phone. That number is stored in the authenticator and then mushed together with the time of day to generate a 6-digit code. Only you have access to your phone. So that's something you have. And that's a second factor. Something you know is the password. Something you have is the phone. That makes it extra hard for bad guys. Often banks and others, for convenience, will use a text message. You probably experienced this. Your bank says, okay, a lot of financial institutions do this. Okay, we have a phone number on record. We're going to send you a code by that number. Just enter that in. Same idea, something you have, your phone. It's not as good as an authenticator program or a key because, unfortunately, it's not so hard to do something we call SIM jacking, effectively stealing your phone number. And if you do, if a bad guy really, now you'd have to be targeted because it's a lot of work. But if somebody really doesn't like you, they call the phone company and say, I lost my phone. I need a new SIM. Send it. Okay, we have an address on record. Oh, no, I moved, man. Send it to 123 Main Street, man. And they send the SIM card out, and that bad guy now has your phone number. And when that text message comes from your bank, it goes to him. There's even more sophisticated ways to do that. But that's a lot of work. Honestly, I think that it is most likely that your Facebook account's not compromised, your LastPass is not compromised. Somebody's doing a kind of a dumb hack, which is to impersonate you on Facebook. And that's possible because your friend list is public. So make it private. Make it private.